How's that?
It's good.
There's chickens all around us. Of course, every beach in this country, everywhere in the Philippines, there's chickens. But anyways, okay.
Okay.
I enjoy recording and talking and vlogging. I find it a lot more difficult when it's more of like an interview setting, when we just sit here in front of a camera and we're trying to like go through a process. Hey everyone, it's me again. My name is Corey. If you're new to the channel, my wife's name is Raquel. We moved from Chicago to the Philippines. Obviously, she was born and raised here, so she's a Filipina, and I'm American, but she did live with me in the USA for quite a while, for about 2 years. All right, everyone's been asking this question, and they want to know how we met. Wait, you met me, or did I meet you? I think we met each other.
Online.
Yes, okay.
Okay. So this is how we met. How I met you.
How we met each other.
Okay. Okay. So.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know who's going first, so I'll just I'll start off. So we met online, as I think everyone can imagine. I'm not actually going to say what website, and that's a whole nother topic, maybe for another video. It's just not a site that I would recommend. It was a lot of trouble for me. The other people that I know that have used that site also ran into the same problems. A lot of fake account, a lot of scammers, a lot of people that say that are active and they're not actually active on the site anymore. So it was just kind of very challenging for a foreigner. So I don't want to promote that company. I'll put a link in the description for the company that we would recommend, because we've been getting this question for the last year and a half. So I've been doing a lot of research and found a lot of success strictly off of one site, because they actually validate and interview and talk to every one of the people that are involved. So you don't run into scammers and fake accounts and things like that.
So yes, I chat him first. Oh.
Chickens.
I'm the one who chat him. Actually, I'm the one who like search what I want, because I wanted to. I usually like the chicken. I usually the one who like I want to look for the profile is very, if it's very interested profile, and I always like open a profile so I know what I want. So then I send him a message, but the first one wasn't really successful. Then I will never forget that, because that's the time that he only like, he looks like not very interested with me, because it's like you said okay, you said yes, then it's late here, I'm going to sleep, so I stopped sending him a message like that. Then the next month, January, then I message him again. Then that's 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 night. Remember that?
Yeah.
So
There's a rooster now directly in front of us, and he's upset. Okay. Yeah, as a foreigner, when you're looking on a line, I think it's a lot more challenging. Well, no, I think it's just as challenging for a Filipina. However, for a Filipina, she's interested in a very selected amount of people, and she's just chatting with them, where every day as a foreigner, I would check my messages and I would have 25 to 50. Like I couldn't even read them all, let alone actually respond. So it would kind of be just keep deleting them and then actually responding to a handful.
yeah.
So it was very challenging.
Yeah, for me, like I really choose who I want to chat. That's why I always read profile, and for me, if it's interesting, okay, go. But first day of conversation, I always like get excited, or sharing more. He's very interesting. So it's like sharing more, and I feel he's interested. But in his case, no, not really. I think you're busy. I don't think you're very interested to me. But
Yeah, okay, so not that I'm going to ramble on this part of the story, but when she first chatted me, I had received a promotion with the company I worked for. So I was transferring from the Boston office to the Chicago office. So I actually lived in Maine, and then I just drove south every day, which was about an hour, but it wasn't really bad. But the whole point of it was my entire house was packed in boxes. It was in a container. It was getting shipped. So she's messaging me, and I knew where I wanted to look, which was the Philippines. So I didn't want to ignore her or anyone in
Yeah,
particular, but life was very chaotic, and of course I was transferring to a new office. But anyway, so
Yeah. I remember that. I really feel you're not very interested with me that time.
yeah, no, it wasn't you. I mean, it was, maybe I should have started looking 6 months earlier or 6 months later, but either way, it worked out. It was just very challenging for both of us at the time, particularly for me, but
Yeah, I remember that night that I keep messaging you, and then you get annoyed because you're in the middle of the meeting, and then I keep messaging, and then you said, if you stop, if you gonna keep, what's that, messaging me, I'm on the meeting,
Oh,
I'll
yeah,
block
yeah,
you.
yeah.
So then
Yeah.
I stopped messaging you, but the next day you message me back. Oh, she's interested. So you're trying to explain that, oh, you're getting busy, and then so,
Yep.
okay, he's nice. So let's.
Yeah, for me, I mean, I was gonna rent out the house that I owned in. Well, I sold one house off in Maine, and I was gonna rent off my house, the one that I lived in that I loved. I didn't want to sell it, so I was moving to Chicago. So point being is, I get to Chicago, everything is in boxes on a container. It's not even unloaded. I had 2 bags with me, a small TV and my laptop, and some cooking utensils. And I'm trying to talk to her, and then I'm going in every day to a new office with a new position, same company. Very similar role, but a lot bigger. So it was, I'm not going to say overwhelming, but I was trying to take her seriously, but at the same time not play around at work. I wanted them to obviously know that I took the role very seriously, which I did. Yeah, anyway, so I mean, we talked every day via text messaging. Obviously it started at first, and then it got to phone calls. What we were using, Viber or
Viber.
WhatsApp? Viber?
No, Viber.
Viber? Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we were using Viber at the time, which we did for months, and then we would video chat pretty much every day. So, yeah, I mean, we video chatted a lot after, of course, texting and then the phone calls, and then, you move up to video chatting as much as you can. With her crazy work schedule, because she was working 12 hours a day at the time. I was working at least 10, and obviously there's a time zone different, so it was, challenging, but it was healthy, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, we chat every day. So like, I tell you where I am. So just an update. So he knows that I'm serious, and like I'm the person who very focused on one person. So like I will give him time, not just time, a quality time, so that he knows that I'm serious, and I'm always like that. So everything is really like, just we know that we're into each other, and we're very interested to each other. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, so I just want to say, I mean, we talked, whether it's a mixture of texting and phone calls and messaging, video chatting, for months. And then when it was just exclusive and it was just me and her chatting, because the first couple weeks or however long, I mean, you're chatting to different people, and then you'll start to take one seriously, and then you're giving them your attention. At least that's what you should do. And then I booked tickets to come over here, which was a couple months out. But either way, we were talking for 6 or 8 months.
Yeah, 8 months.
For 8 months roughly, before I came over to see her. So at that point, we felt like we knew each other very well. I mean, obviously we had never met in person, but way too often I'll hear of people for chatting for a couple weeks or less than a month or something like that, or they're even talking to 10 different people, and then they plan a trip over here, and they're trying to give each one of them like 2 or 3 days to kind of interview. And to me, it was more of a, let's take one person seriously. You have a lot of things in common, and you're going to be opposite in other areas because opposites attract. And then I'm coming over here and just strictly giving her my attention. I mean, when I planned the trip over here, I sent her my plane flights. Here's the day I'm landing. She met me at the airport, and then we traveled south for an hour and a half on a bus, which was great. And I learned it.
You were so mad at that because he wanted to rent a car. I know it's very expensive for me. She, oh no, it's very expensive just for a day, and you don't. Then we end up in a bus, and then he's sweating, and then he
The
blamed
bus.
me. Okay.
Yeah, no, I wasn't like mad at her, but
okay,
either way, it was. I had all my luggage, and we're on an hour and a half, close to 2 hour bus ride. The bus didn't have air conditioning, so I mean, I was just sweating and I'm exhausted, and stuff like that. But either way, we got down to Baia City, and then I stayed at a hotel for 7 or 8 or 9 days. But I mean, every day. The point I wanted to get to was, we went down there, we went on a date and had lunch and dinner, and then she went home. And then the next morning I'd get up early, I'd go to the gym, and then she would meet me for an early lunch or whatever time it would be. And then we would spend the day together, and then she would travel home for 2 or 3 days. And then we had plans to go to her parents' house and meet her family. So then I took a bus, or I took the wrong bus. I don't want to get into all that, but I was on the side of the road calling her, and my phone didn't work. I got luggage, and we're in this little town, well, I'm in a little town, and everyone's staring at me, and I'm holding my stuff. But anyways, point being is, she found me at the right bus stop. Well, I got off at the wrong bus stop, but she went and found me, and then we got in a tricycle and went back and spent the day with her family and her parents and got to know them. And then I got back on the bus and I went back to the hotel, and then she met me again the next morning. So it wasn't like we met up at a hotel and then just started instantly spending time like there. I mean, I put time and effort into this between months of talking, and then over a week I was at the hotel by myself. At night. But I mean, I would spend the day with her, or spend the day pretty much every day after that. Then I would go to your house and spend time with you and your family there, and we'd go out for lunch and stuff. And then
you go back to your hotel alone.
Yeah, and then I'd go back to my hotel alone, which is fine, but I respected her a lot for that. I respected her family and her values because of that, as opposed to a lot of relationships in the U.S. I'm not going to get into it. You just meet someone and you're instantly hooking up and they want respect. That wasn't the case. So I mean, I put in some time and effort, but then it got to the point where I just want to tell this because it was probably one of the scariest moments of my life. So we had plans to spend the day at her parents' house, and I was going to ask her father permission to marry her, and this is at day 10 or something like that, spending every day with her. And this is after eight months of getting to know her. Well, Filipinos, they're very close with their family, and they discuss things and they talk and things like that. So my intention was to sit down with her father one-on-one and man-on-man have this conversation with have a conversation with him. And I remember sitting at the kitchen table, and you had aunts and uncles over and some cousins. I don't remember who else at the time, but there was a lot of people over. And I'm eating, and then all of a sudden everyone stops. Something you would see in a movie, like mid-drink, people are putting the fork in their mouth, everyone stops, and I'm just standing there like, what's going on? Yeah, but anyway, so I remember that. And then when she tells me that she told her father that I came over to ask him for permission for something, every person in the family is just staring at me, and I'm like, okay, let's tell him I'll talk to him after dinner privately, like one-on-one. It wasn't something I wanted to do as a group.
You're not comfortable with that.
Well, no, I mean, definitely not. I wasn't planning on doing that in a group setting, but and then I don't know what your father said to the family, but everyone got up with their plates and left the room.
Oh yeah,
because he wanted to know exactly what my plan was and what I wanted to ask him. I'm sure he knew, but everyone got up and left, and I'm like, okay, this is awkward. But yeah, anyway, so then I asked your father if I could marry you, and he was, started to cry. He was emotional.
Yeah, I'm the first daughter out of 5, so
yeah,
it's really short. And it's a foreigner.
Yeah, I mean, he had 5 daughters, for anyone that doesn't know or you're new to the channel. So she has 4 sisters. And then they gave up because he wanted a boy, and he kept trying, and it wasn't happening. Yeah. So then he was like, enough. But all of them at the time, none of them were married. So I was the first one proposing. None of them had been engaged or anything like that. So it was very scary for him, of course, and petrifying for me as well. But obviously I was trying to be understanding and considerate, explaining that I would always take care of his daughter. And obviously he knew the scary part for him was that she was going to come to the U.S. at some point, and for how long. Because a lot of times, unfortunately, Filipinos will go to the U.S. Or Canada or Australia, wherever they go, and then they don't really come back, or they rarely visit. But I mean, we know quite a few that they don't see their family for quite a long time, or they get to visit every so often, but they're not comfortable. So they just can't visit all the time. So I tried to reassure him that she would come home and visit every single year. I mean, I would make sure that she could come back. Obviously, our goal was both of us would go back and visit and spend vacation. And then she would actually stay for a month or so, and then I would come back for another vacation, and then she could come home with me. But yeah, either way, that's how we met. And I waited till the second or third trip or whatever, second trip, I'm trying to remember, to process all the K1 visa. So put in for all that, which took a long time. It shouldn't have taken as long as it did, but either way, it took quite a bit. And we got a RFE, request for additional information, I think it stands for. I'm trying to remember. So then I had to send in more documents, and then long story short, well, it's long at this point, but then after she got approved for the K1 and it was in her passport, I don't want to bore everyone with the whole story. You can watch the video on her getting to the US, but COVID happened, and then the embassy had her passport with the visa in it, so I wasn't allowed in the country because COVID happened, so they shut it down, and she couldn't get out of the country even though she had a visa. She was allowed to be in the US, had all the paperwork approved, but embassy had her passport with the stamp in it. So anyways, it was
that's a lot of stress. Only have 1 week to go.
Yeah, what do we have, 8 or 9 days to get you out of the country?
And you have to take a ticket, and they have to go to it's just everything was rushed.
Yeah, I don't want to bore the people about the story that have already watched that vlog that I did on it. And I'll put a link in the bottom, or I'll make it so it's the next video that shows or something like that. But either way, she finally got the passport, but the visa's good for 6 months to get into the country, and she had like 8 or 9 days. So I booked her multiple plane tickets just because it was COVID and everything kept getting shut down. So it was a nightmare trying to get her over there right at the beginning of COVID, and then I
don't remember now how many airlines you book, and then you have to cancel it.
I spent thousands booking plane tickets, and I got refunds on them later, so it wasn't like it hurt me. But either way, I had booked her. I booked her 3 in one day one time.
Yeah, it's scary.
And then she couldn't use any of them except for the one going through Dubai, which is not the way you want to fly here. But anyways,
that was scary for you. My parents was like, "Are you sure it's Qatar?" So okay. So I have no choice. I have to go. Go.
Yeah.
So it's safe. Many Filipinos there.
Yeah. No, it worked out. It was just really scary for us. But then she finally got to the U.S. and we couldn't go on vacation here without quarantining for 2 weeks. So then we were stuck in the U.S., which is all right. I mean, we made the best of it and things like that. But yeah, I had visited 10 times for a couple weeks at a time, and we had looked for land and took care of the paperwork for the land and started the house and stuff like that. So the K1 took a lot longer than expected, but that's all right. I mean, because we were taking care of the house, and then she was local to go check on things like that. So we made the best of it, and again, we had been talking for 8 months prior, and then I had spent weeks with her. I went back home and then flew right back that February or March after I left.
Yeah, usually
and then,
2 weeks.
Yeah, two and a half, because I would go, so I mean, then I flew right back. So I mean, we were very comfortable. We took the time to get to know each other and things like that, and but I
Why
mean,
is
after
that so deep?
No, because I just remember traveling over here and not wanting to leave, and realizing I didn't actually want to go back to the U.S. So I don't want to bore everyone with that story either. But yeah, then it was, hold on, let's do this in reverse. I want to stay here. So, anyways, but we made that plan work too. So that's all right. We're here and we're happy.
Oh yeah.
Well, anyways, thank you for watching, everyone. But that's our story, so to speak, or how we met and how we dated and fell in love and spent a lot of time getting to know each other and trips over here with her and her family. Yeah, anyways, that's our story of how we met, what I would recommend doing. I would do it a little bit faster, but getting to know someone for months and
Slowly.
prior, right, and then spending some time over here with them, I think, is really key in my opinion, as opposed to the people that rush it and then they're getting a divorce or they're separating or they're having problems, or I hear too many horror stories. Oh, I went to the red light district and I met a girl and I proposed, and I'm like, what? And you thought that was going to work out for you? I mean, anyways, the people that spend time getting to know someone every day and then they go over here and spend weeks with the person, you're comfortable and you're confident with it. So I have no regrets. I love my life and we're happy. Thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions or suggestions. I get a lot of emails from people wanting advice on meeting someone overseas and where to look and dating and things like that, and they're pretty much always emails or messages on Instagram or something like that, because the guys aren't confident on just having that conversation right on YouTube, which I can understand. So I mean, if you have questions, shoot me an email. We can talk, we can email, we can discuss it, and I'll make sure to leave a link on the website where I would recommend you find someone, because it's not the way we did it. I went through a hassle, but we'll get into that on a whole nother video on avoiding scammers and problems. So anyways,
yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah, no, there is, but that's all right. So
thank you
for watching.
Bye bye.